Steve here from Secret Men's Business. We're going to look at some bodyweight exercises primarily for the legs, but also for the glutes and the lower back. Initially we'll look at squats and we'll go through some of the things you need to be mindful of in order to maintain health and good form. Why do we work our legs? The biggest muscle group in our body is our legs, and that's why if you ever do go to a PT, to a trainer, or you go to a group fitness class, you will find that quite often there are a lot of leg exercises because they're a good burn and they're good bang for buck. So if you want to lose weight, you want to start getting fitter, focus on the legs a lot. Now, if you don't have any weight and you're doing body weight exercises, you need to do a lot of reps. Because we're doing body weight, we probably need to do more reps and probably a lot more in terms of volume, so more sets. So you'd probably be looking at set ranges of around 15 to 20 reps and maybe 4 or 5 sets. Whereas if you had some weight on there, you'd reduce that quite substantially. Let's have a look at some of the other exercises we can do for our quads first, and then we'll go to the posterior. It's very important when we are squatting that we do not allow our knees to track in or out too much in relation to our feet. So I'll just come in closer just to show you my feet position. My feet are about shoulder width apart here, and my toes are splayed outwards. So just slightly, not too much. The reason we do that is so that when we squat down and bring our knees out to create space, our knees stay over the line of our foot. If we don't do that, if my feet are straight and my knees go out, I'm putting shearing forces on my knees, and over time that's going to create an issue. And alternatively, if I do splay my toes but my knees collapse in, I'm going to do the same thing. So it's either going to work the inwards or the outwards of the knee and create some issues, maybe not initially, but certainly over time. So really be mindful that watch your technique and make sure your knee is going over the center line of your foot and you are keeping that chest up and good posture while you squat. Don't worry too much about the depth. Over time, that should improve. If you can get all the way down, keeping a good posture, keeping your knees going outwards and coming all the way back up, that's fantastic. But most people, when they start out, will probably be somewhere around that sort of midway where your thighs are parallel to the ground or slightly above. That's okay, we can work on that over time. Thing is, get moving, start getting some exercise under your belt, and let's get fit so that we can have good health, both physical and mental. With all exercises, I always recommend a good warm-up. In this instance, we're going to start with some squats. So the joints that are going to be used are your ankles, knees and hips, and the muscles predominantly will be glutes. So ideally, you want to have your feet about shoulder width apart, and as you squat down, you're going to pull your knees apart, either come down to that level position or go lower if you can. From the side view, you want to keep that chest up and avoid slanting forward. I'll show you decent technique. I'm going to say perfect, but decent. And what I see a lot is that, or even that. So watch my knees. That's a squat. That's more of a hip hinge, but with a poor back. So be mindful of that. Knees apart. Now, you might have some restrictions. You might have tight ankles or some issues with your joints in particular. So what you can do is you can widen your stance and come down to what you're comfortable with. We're going to work towards coming to that level position with our thighs, but even if we can just start making our way down, keeping our good posture with our chest up, that's going to be a good place to start. So to take your squats to the next level, if you're all over just the normal body weight squat and you want to take it up a notch, I recommend squat jumps. Same rules apply, but I always tell my clients to start and finish in that bottom position. So work your way down to that bottom position. This is where we're going to start from the squat jump, and we're going to land back in this position. So I launch up and I land back in that position. reset at the bottom, and go again. Now the good thing about doing this is your joints become like a shock absorber. If I land with straight knees and then squat down, all that shock goes up throughout the body, whereas landing in that squat position, it's all absorbed. So maybe squats aren't for you, or you're all over them and you want some variation. Another one that is good is alternating lunges. So we take a big step forward, we keep our body weight up, our chest up, come back, and then alternate to the other side. So when I do this, I want to make sure I step out far enough so that when I get into that position, my knee does not track over my toe. It stays back beyond the front line of the toe. Come back, and then go again. If you have knee issues, you may find that the front lunge or forward lunge is not for you, in which case you simply go to the reverse, and it does take a bit of the pressure off. Big step back, body still stays upright, the back knee goes towards the ground, and there you have it. So it's either alternating forward lunge or alternating reverse lunge, or both if you're feeling game. So another one to consider if you want to up the ante and you want some variation in your routine, instead of doing alternating lunges, start in that position as deep as you feel confident. Maybe start shallow and then work your way to this. I'm going to jump up, switch feet, and land in that opposite position. Up, and then over into that position, and then back. And in not too much time, you'll start to feel the burn in the legs. Side lunges, so we step out to the side and squat down and then spring back. You need a little bit more power for this. So we step out, squat down, and spring back. And then we do the same. So that I go over the screen there, to the side, keeping our body upright, and to the other side. Side lunges. So let's have a look now at working the back, so the glutes and the hamstrings. So what we can do for this, without any weight, is do a good morning. So to start off with, you fold your arms over like that, have your feet at shoulder width apart, and in this instance we do hinge at the hip. We have a slight bend in our knees, it doesn't move from there, and all I do is hinge at the hips, keeping my posture up, not rounding my back, and then coming back. Just a slight bend in the knees, just enough to protect the knees, but to feel that stretch in the back of the legs as you lean forward. When you come up, just make sure you give your glutes a squeeze, just to add a little bit of emphasis to the exercise. Now to take it up a little bit further, hands on the head, it just creates a little bit more resistance throughout the body because you're increasing the load and the load arm. Try and keep your neck neutral with these. Now if that's not good enough for you, you want more, and you've got good balance, and you don't have any issues with your joints, just pop onto one leg. Make sure you keep your hips and shoulders square on to the direction that you're working. Try and balance on that one foot as long as you can and work on one side before you swap it over. Again, chest up, good posture, hinging at the hips. I'm going to reach with my arms without slouching my back, feeling that load in the back of the leg, coming back, going again. Now, obviously, you would do the same amount of reps on both sides if you're doing single leg work. However, if you've got a discrepancy between the strength of one leg to the other, you might want to do a little bit more on that weaker side. So I hope you enjoyed this little presentation. Stay tuned for more from Secret Men's Business. There's a whole array of different topics that we discuss throughout the week. I'm part of the Health Trinity. So yeah, thank you for jumping on, and I hope you enjoyed it.